Hi, everybody. It is a long time no see. So one more thing I want to do today before I call it a night. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while. So I've been gathering things and finding things to show you. Many years ago, it's been over 20 years ago, I took a class, anti-bias curriculum, through Pacific Oaks College. And the course was taught by not Deb Curtis, but Margie Carter. And I can't remember the other instructor's name. It wasn't Deb Curtis. It was way back when we both had brown hair, but it was a fairly new topic. And of course, we all as early childhood educators were really diving deep into this topic. And one of the big conversations we were having is how to represent different cultures within our programs without it turning into a tourist approach. And a tourist approach is basically where we sort of dabble in it, where we might introduce the foods or some music or maybe some apparel that folks might wear at a special occasion. And it really doesn't give the deep intentionality that I think we really wanted to do. We were just sort of skimming the surface with it. So we had those big conversations about, how can we fairly represent someone of a different culture and not turn it into a tourist approach, because certainly folks wouldn't wear this type of apparel in everyday life. They wouldn't wear it going to the grocery store or to the mall. It was for special occasions. And this is where, as a tourist, and you go somewhere, they're going to show you these pieces of their culture. But one of the things we don't necessarily see when you're going on a tour is real day-to-day life. How are they living in their own homes? What are they using to truly cook their food and to raise up their children? And these were the big questions and the big conversations that we were having. And of course, we had to do a project. And as I'm trying to think, what do I want to do? Because it's something that I wanted to keep and then put into the program. And I'm thinking, how can I do this? I have, I'm sorry, it's my keyboard. I happened to be at the fabric store and these beautiful prints caught my eye. And trying to remain open-ended and allowing children exploration opportunities, I started feeling these fabrics. I said, this could really work. And so what I did is I made wraps. Now, I still have these, and I want to show you what I did. Here's one print. Here's one print. And this is a fold-over hem. You can see that, because I did not have a serger back then, and I don't even know if they had them. This is about a yard from your shoulder to your fingertips. It's about a yard. And what I did was I made a band. I'll back up a little bit so you can see. So it's a band. Now this can be worn around the head, be worn around the shoulders. It can be worn, I had a lot of ninjas, have had a lot of ninjas running around. It can be worn to carry a baby. Baby goes here and then it gets wrapped. So that's done that. And here's another print. And this one is bigger. And some of these you can use as tabletops too, if you want to do a certain display in the classroom. And again, this one has the fold over hem, the print, and this one is pretty long and it is pretty wide. I would say it's about 20 some inches. And don't worry about perfection. That's under fiction, remember? There really is no perfection. I'll show you another print. Here's another print. And this one I cut into a triangle. And sometimes it just depends on the width of the fabric and how I'm cutting it as to what actually comes out. So this is a triangle. They can wear this around their shoulders, around their waists. They can carry stuff in it. I'm Eastern European, and I remember my great-grandmother wearing her babushka. She didn't speak a lot of English. Remember, she was so old and she scared the out of me because she was so old, but she was so sweet. But I remember I have pictures of her. Came right from the old country. And let's see. Here's another print. So I cut them in lengths and widths, triangles. There's another one. Isn't that pretty? So when I presented these to the class, I got an A. They really liked the idea of just using open-ended wraps the children can wear any way they wanted to. I want to have another one here that I want to show you, another print that I really like. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? Just beautiful prints that can be representative of different cultures, but then the children have the freedom to wear them any way they want to. And then recently, of course, now I have a serger, I've done some others, and this was just some fabric that was laying around the classroom. And I brought it home and I cleaned it up because the edges were really raw. But isn't it pretty? Look. That would make a really pretty tabletop. And one of the reasons why I did this, it wasn't just the multicultural need. It was also because the stuff is so expensive in the catalogs. And again, it's costumes. And the term costume is rather insulting to certain cultures. It's regalia. And that is much more respectful. And to remember that their regalia in many cases has symbolic meaning, very sacred meaning behind it. And so we need to address that in a very respectful way. And also in a less sexualizing way as well. So again, this is serged. That's just serged. But isn't that a pretty print? Now this is a little more heavy duty. This would be great for taking outside and playing. And this one I really liked. And this is a band, but I also have wider pieces that I did. This is a piece that was just, again, in the classroom with raw edges, and I brought it home. And someone can use this to wrap their babies with or other toys. Use it as a superhero cape. Let's see, what else do I have in here? This was a piece, again, that was at, we got a pile starting over here. This is a silky, and it was really raw edge, really, really nasty. I brought it home and serged and cleaned it up. Won't that be beautiful? Used in some way. And then this one has got, this gold is a little metallic, but it's very, very pretty. And it can be used in a lot of different ways. Let's see, I think there's this print. And again, this is a little triangle, can be used. And I've dressed up in these because a lot of times kids will look at that and go, huh? And so I've actually dressed up, and the other staff have dressed up in it and walked around and shown possibilities. And of course, that just starts a whole thing. Lots and lots of fun. Okay, I think I've reached almost the bottom. So anyway, it's very inexpensive to do that. You can find bolt ends of fabric. You can get a teacher's discount. You can find remnants. You can ask people for donations of fabric and have someone do this for you. Totally inexpensive. And it meets the same purpose, because what you also want to add in your program is very authentic experiences. So when you do have families that are coming your way, we have the opportunity to speak to the families and have them bring in their cultures and bring in their own stories, and to be able to help us understand their holidays and other types of celebrations that they might have in a more authentic way. And many of them welcome that opportunity. Many of them welcome that opportunity. So the other thing is, I have a pattern of no-sew tunics that I've been doing for many, many years. And one of the reasons why I started doing the tunics was the kids got into some animal play, and I found some animal prints at the fabric store. And I make these a little different than what I used to. I actually cut in a belt. So it's basically all no-sew, and I use a jersey fabric, a real stretchy fabric, or I use the furs. They tend to kind of make you sneeze because they're kind of fraying all over the place. But I created a pattern for you for these tunics. So when you get this, and there is a cost at $6.99, but it's going to help cover some of my costs and my time in putting this together. It's a printed format, shows you two ways to do it, both with a rotary and without a rotary blade. There are different kinds of tools. And then there's also a YouTube video that you'll be able to access, as well as other resources regarding cultural appropriation and the term regalia, and I am not a costume. and other information on anti-bias curriculum. So those will be in there as well, those resources. So if you want to consider that, it's fine. We're going to have the link for you. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Also, if you are able to do this, if you could take some pictures for me and just post those for us to see, I would love to see your work. And it always makes me excited when others are able to take these ideas and expand on them. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I am going to call it quits for the night, and everyone take care. Bye-bye.